First and foremost, it was truly a pleasure and an honor, for not only for me personally, but just for our program to have an opportunity to come play at Rupp Arena. Being a basketball historian myself, I got a little awe when I saw Jack Givens over there, so I had to run and give him a hug and all of those things. And Chili just gave me a shirt, so I appreciate it. I come bearing gifts too. But I sent y'all a kid that's like a nephew of mine too, by the name of John Wall. So I think he worth more than a shirt. He's from my neighborhood, so I expect a lot more of these for Christmas. But nevertheless, I thought we competed, and that was the thing. And instead of playing 40 minutes, I wanted to play in 10 4-minute wars, right, in those increments, and just give our guys a chance. I thought the first war, I think it was 10-7. And it kind of got away from us at the 7-minute mark. From the 7-minute mark to the 3-minute mark, they went on an 18-2 run. I thought the crowd was here, but I didn't think they were really into the game. And then that got them into the game, gave them some energy. Second half, we competed once again, and I thought after the first war, the first media, I think we were +1, so I was happy with that. But what happens when you play teams such as this magnitude? They have so much depth, and they just continue to wear you down. And they were a little bigger, faster, and stronger. And so we just dared them to make shots, and Jasper did an outstanding job of doing that, and Double Zero did an outstanding job of doing that. But, nevertheless, there's some positives that we can take away from this. We had 16 assists, could have been more. We just missed a lot of open shots. I thought our zone caused them, some problems. But overall, I'm happy with the way we competed. So, questions?
You mentioned the opening 10 minutes there. What do you think you guys did to especially stay competitive in those first, going up, I guess, to the second TV timeout? I think it was like 15-10 at that point.
Yeah, with us, most of these teams such as this magnitude, with all due respect to them, they struggle with zone because they're in a conference where they think theirs is better than the next. So it's just man on man. It's a lot of ego. Well, we don't have an ego. We're going to switch defenses until you figure it out. So some of the things that we've done, we know they haven't seen it before. And then once they start neutralizing that or scoring against it, we try to switch up again. So we threw the kitchen sink at them and still gave up 103 points. But I thought we just competed, right? And a lot of times, my team, they're relatively new. We have 12 new guys who's never really been in the positions and asked to do the things that we're asking of them. And to be honest, I thought Corey, our big man, was the best big on the floor tonight. But, he only played 5 minutes a game at Morehead State. So now I'm telling him you need to play 35, and not only that, we got to give you the ball. So it's a mentality switch that's not going to happen right away, but they're trying to do the right thing. So I just think them overall going out competing and not being shell-shocked. And, a lot of people come here and they already down 10 because it's Rupp Arena, right? So I didn't want to do that. I ain't allowing them to look at the Jumbotron and look up in the crowd and watch the Chili just throw the shirts, even though I got one. Just stay focused and locked in on what you have to do and compete.
Obviously, Kentucky won the rebounding battle in the end, but when you look at it offensively, it finished tied 7-7. What do you feel like your team was doing that was, helping you guys to get some of those offensive rebounds and also limiting Kentucky in getting offensive rebounds?
Our challenge coming into the game was to find other guys who could score the basketball. We knew Gage could score it. And we knew Corey could score it, and we knew defenses are going to be designed to take those guys away. But as a coach, it was a challenge finding out who else could score. So we started Ramondo Battle tonight, and he can really shoot the ball. And he helped us, and he helped himself when he hit 2 early threes. So that opens it up for Gage, and it opens it up for Corey. And now you have to really respect everyone out there on the floor. Now they get to play one-on-one basketball a little more. Gage was 1 for 10 at the half, but I thought he took tremendous shots. Those were his shots. He just didn't make them. And overall, we just got ball movement, and that's relative by the assists. Like when you have 16 assists, that means you're moving the ball. Before, the ball was stagnant. And we was playing at standstill. And if you don't have NBA basketball players, that's not a good brand of basketball.
Hi, Coach. You mentioned that you have 12 new guys on the team this year. In this era of college athletics, that's not unheard of. Yeah. But what tactics have you found really work when trying to create team chemistry with such turnover?
Yeah, I think the algorithm on my phone and on my computer is all motivational speaking and teamwork basketball through YouTube and Google. I've tried everything. We're showing the movie clips. We're doing everything. I'm really, at this point, a psychologist, right? Just to get them acclimated, but allow them to continue to believe in themselves. Because what we didn't want to do, like I'm sure you guys seen our schedule, is brutal to say the least. Right now, we might as well be in the SEC conference with the teams that we're playing, but you don't want Kentucky to beat you in February, right? And so our guys were, and I just told them how proud I am of them, because now we can build. Like, I can go back on the bus and watch this tape and feel good about it, right? And say, hey, if you could do this and do that. And I say, look, if they score, let them score because they were bigger, faster, and stronger. That's God's gift. We can't do anything about it. But let's not allow them to score because we had a mental breakdown. So I still have to go back and look at the tape, but I thought we improved tremendously in a bunch of those areas.
Coach, Kentucky kind of had its pride hurt in its previous game to this one. Did you have any thoughts going into this game after that, thinking, no, we're not going to catch them on like an off night?
Look, I know what comes along with that U and that K on that chest. So, if they had their pride hurt, that means the community had their pride hurt, and that means it's going to be difficult to sit up here. And they got to hear that throughout the week, I'm sure. And I wanted them not to have their pride hurt because I knew they would be locked in and immensely focused, right? And, those guys, to their credit, I thought we counterpunched them. And I was just trying to keep it close and apply game pressure to them, right? Because some of the shots they made, with all due respect to them, it's a different shot when you're up 20 or 30 as opposed to when it's a 2-possession game and you have to make this or else it's going to have ramifications if you miss. So we're just trying to keep it close. But Mark does a good job, and I'm sure he has a bunch of new players too. But he also had $20 million to get that. So if he could give me $1 million of that, then we could profit share a little bit. And I told him after the game, look, he's just going through his growing pains and his chemistry. They don't know him as well. He don't know them as well. It's the same thing with our teams. And pretty much every coach can come up here and have the same song cry. But, at the end of the day, it's Kentucky. And by the time they hit conference play, they're going to be really good.
Coach, you talked about, rebuilding your team, and you guys have had a very tough schedule. So for you and kind of evaluating that talent, you've got a guy like Gage outside of the Division I ranks at Seton Hill, and to see him be kind of your leading scorer, come into places like North Carolina, Kentucky, and have the performance he has. How special is that to see him have those kind of leaps and jumps?
It's incredible. He was a kid who grew up an hour away from us, so he wanted to come to us in high school, and probably shame on me, but, the nature of college basketball is it's hard to get 18-year-olds to compete against 20. You got guys out here with families playing basketball now, right? And so regardless of how talented that 18-year-old is, it's difficult for him to defeat that grown man. And so a lot of times he just had to go get bigger, faster, and stronger, get some college experience. And when he came back, I think he's been a pleasant surprise, not only to us, but himself also. We call him a basketball psychopath, for lack of background. Like, that kid just loves basketball. We have a campus that has a lot of social activities, and he don't participate in any of them, right? And so our guys are breaking their neck to get out of practice to go see where the girls are on our campus, and he just stays and shoot extra. So he's a basketball psychopath. He just loves basketball, and I love coaching him because it's hard in your college coach. As a college coach, it's hard to coach a kid that reminded you of yourself. Right? And so my former coach called me and said, man, that kid reminds me of you. And I was like, that's why I love coaching him. So he got a long way to go, but so far, so good. Thank you, guys. Happy holidays.